Bowling Association is making its third consecutive stop at the Midwestern crossroads of the United States. We are at the Hoosier State for the 1998 Clabber Girl Grader Terre Haute Open. Welcome to the Terre Haute Bowling Center. I'm Leandra Riley along with Jan Schmidt, and our 5 stepladder finalists in 1998 have amassed 22 television appearances among them. So we're starting to get some very familiar names for this season, and nobody's more familiar than Kim Adler, our top qualifier, as she pursues her 10th career title.
She's in her 3rd straight telecast with 1 win already. Thinks she has a good shot at that 10th title tonight from the top seed. She's 8-2 lifetime in the championship match. One of those losses came last week, and we've all seen how well she bounces back from defeat.
Our number 2 qualifier, like Kim Adler, is pursuing her 2nd title of 1998. That's Marianne DeRupo.
If she does it, it'll be the first time in her career. She's had a consistent career, 5 titles in 6 years, but she's never been able to win twice in a single season. She's bowling better than ever, and I think this is the year for it.
Our number 3 qualifier is Wendy McPherson. She's the 2-time defending champion, bowler, and player of the year. But 1998 has been pretty quiet. But the summer of 98's been pretty hot. This is her 2nd TV appearance of the summer.
You're right, Leandra, and she had an incredible run, the best I've seen, 96 and 97. I think it took a toll on her mentally and physically. She changed her grip, she did some things, tried not to put so much pressure on herself, and it's starting to pay off for her this summer.
Our 3 top qualifiers, however, are going to have to wait in the wings because our opening match features Carol Giannotti-Block against Michelle Mullen. And there you see our first competitors. Carol Giannotti-Block has been on TV 8 times this year, and she said, Michelle Mullen, you are going to start things off. 67 bowlers began here this week in Terre Haute, and 5 remain. All 5 are over 30. A veteran field.
Michelle Mullen probably doesn't feel like a veteran right now, though. Haven't seen her on a telecast since 96, the fall of 96.
She opens on 19. In 96, when she was on TV, she finished 5th. That was in Baltimore, Maryland. What a difference a year makes. Last year, her total income was $67,000. This year, she's only made $9,000. So it hasn't been a great year for her so far.
That's right, but she's been really dividing her energies and her attentions into a lot of different things. She's coaching. She's writing now some articles for the bowling magazines. So she's really a busy lady.
And now it's time for Carol Giannotti-Block to step up. These are 2 of our taller bowlers. You can see she's an 11-year pro out of Australia. Stands 5'7". Mullen stands 5'8". Oh! Gets a lucky drop there to open things up on 20.
Dropping out that 7-pin pretty late.
Now you saw the average for Mullen was 208. For Carol Giannotti-Block, it was 209 plus. Qualifying number 4 here in Terre Haute.
She's looking to have fun, and it looks like she is.
Not only are all of our bowlers over 30, they are all right-handed. So if you were an over 30 right-hander, you stood a better chance of getting in our stepladder finals this week.
Thanks for pointing that out.
Present company excluded. Mullen likes lane 20 as well.
There she goes, getting herself on track. As I mentioned briefly when she was up the first time, energy been divided. It's very hard, and I can relate to that, to try and pursue your bowling career while you're pursuing other avenues and other careers that you're looking at for your future.
Sure.
So you have to say, okay, I have to put some attention in that direction, but in the meantime, your bowling suffers.
Columnist for Bowling Magazine and the Bowling News. Plus, she conducts a lot of instructional clinics. We'll do more about that later. Plus, she's trying to stay out here on the tour. Now, she's only missed the tour 4 times this year, 1998, but 3 of them were on this summer swing that she didn't come out.
Yeah, and she came out last week for the first time. She said, hey, this is going to be good. I can go home between each week because we're nearby in the Midwest here. She lives in Chicago. So she was able to go home, regroup, and she said it was great. She felt refreshed. Changes balls to shoot that fair, covers it nicely.
Carol Giannotti Block, we look back at the round 6, 12, 18, 26 games, etc. Her worst positioning was 11th. As she worked her way up to 4th. And now she's got 3 in a row.
Carol stands with the ball chest high. Watch her push it up. Gets her going. She kind of rears up in a way. Up, leans her body back a little, and she gets that arm flowing. Goes about head high. And look at this release. Very natural style bowler, all feel bowler. Gets the job done great.
And it's a 4-bagger for Carol Giannotti Block. She likes it here in Terre Haute, Indiana. Exactly where is Terre Haute, Indiana? Well, it's located at the intersection of US 40 and 41. It is known as the Crossroads of America. The Clabber Girl Greater Terre Haute Open is being brought to you by AMF Bowling Worldwide, the largest owner and operator of bowling centers in the world and one of the leading makers of bowling products. AMF always means fun. By Budweiser and Bud Light, the official beers of bowling. And by MasterCard. There are some things in life money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. You are looking at Michelle Mullen. Already she trails by 30 because her opponent has 4 in a row to open things up at the Greater Terre Haute Open. You know, we talked about Michelle Mullen having a lot of responsibilities. She is the co-owner of Professional Bowling Instruction Incorporated with Don Moyer. And what a successful clinic instructional operation that is.
It is. They run anywhere from half-day clinics to 3-day clinics. They employ a lot of the ladies out here on tour. I know Wendy McPherson Papanos on the show today. She coaches for Michelle. Carolyn Doran Ballard does. It's a great clinic. Everyone that's been to any of them, they're very pleased.
They can do short clinics. They can do 3-day clinics. They videotape you. It was like an 8-to-1 student to instructor ratio, which is great. They can really give a lot of sound advice. Everybody sings its praises. And now she puts up 2 in a row as she dials in the lanes here at the Clabber Girl Greater Terre Haute Open. Now, I hate to bring this up because she's got 4 in a row, but I have to. If she should punch out, MasterCard will pay her $50,000, and I knew the minute I said it I would jinx it. I am sorry, Carol Giannotti Block.
It's
but
okay.
Folks,
you didn't do it. They did it in the truck. They put it up on the screen. You had no choice.
Okay. And I hear them closing the bank vault in the back room, waiting for the next match. They're starting to count those dollar bills. Oh, jumped off at the last second. Oh.
And a rare error from Carol Giannotti Block. She backs the ball up at a 10-pin, and it continued to back up. Watch this. She flattens it out, kind of end over end. Sometimes backs up a little bit. Look at it go. It's not going to turn because you can see the fingers and thumb. It's rolling dead end over end. It never turns over, falls off in the channel.
And the 30-pin advantage has now dwindled to 10 as that one came up high.
It may have shaken her up a bit, but it wouldn't normally. Carol shakes that stuff off.
8th time on television in 1998. She knows whereof she speaks, but she hasn't won a title in 98.
No, 5 second-place finishes. That's tough to take.
Very frustrating. She said she really wants to get one under her belt. She went for the count as she leaves 2 frames open here in this opening match against Michelle Mullen.
I want to see what this is going to do for Michelle, because my feeling was when Carol opened with 4 strikes, it relaxed Michelle, because she thought, what can I do? I mean, my thoughts would be, what can I do? I'm just going to get up and throw shots. Carol's dialed in, but now with 2 opens, to me that puts a little bit more pressure back on Michelle.
Last title for Michelle Mullen was the 1995 Sam's Town Invitational in Las Vegas. It's a major. Oh. Did the same thing that Carol Giannotti did.
Comes up high. Now, she did strike on this lane the last time, but it was Brooklyn. It crossed over. So she made a move to try to get to the pocket, but it wasn't a big enough move. Punch the nose, 4, 6, 7. This split is virtually impossible to pick up unless she gets a lucky bounce.
we asked Michelle Mullen what was the key to making the show, because she hasn't been out one in quite some time.
I was working on my motion to have it be a little bit more fluid, smooth, athletic. For the past couple of years, I've had to make a lot of changes in my game, I feel, for the condition as it's been, the Christmas tree pattern, and I just figured it's about, I haven't been able to make shows, so it's time that I just let my motion flow, and I felt really, really good. It felt one piece and real smooth.
And she has been smooth. You see she trails by 11 right now. The Christmas tree pattern she talked about is when the conditioner is laid on the lane, basically in the shape of a Christmas tree, tapered too wide and goes wider. She had trouble playing on that and had to learn how to move around to do that. It appears to me, and we're not on that pattern right now, but see how she's in deep, sending the ball out to about the 12th board.
So Michelle Mullen and Carol Giannotti Block actually have a horse race going after it looked like it was going to be a blowout for Carol Giannotti. So nothing's resolved yet here in Terre Haute, which happens to be the home of Indiana State University. And we know who made this school famous, none other than the NBA's legendary Larry Bird. You're looking at Carol Giannotti Block, who's enjoying an 11-pin lead following 2 open frames. And she's back in the groove of things. Had a 4-bagger, 2 open frames, and now she seems to have found her mark again.
Well, she missed that 10-pin and then split after that. So I think the break was actually good for her in this regard, the commercial break. She had a chance to regroup. Leads by 11.
Rossford, Ohio, last year is when she won her last title. As we said, she's been on TV 8 times. Oh.
Wow.
Delayed reaction.
This ball coming in late. It's coming in behind the head pin almost. Head pin dancing off the wall, the 5-pin. Couldn't decide if it was going to go or not.
Times like that, you need an earthquake. All right, this is Michelle Mullen stepping up in the 8th frame. She's working off a strike in the 7th. Came back. Oh, I don't believe that.
Wow. Trip of the 4-pin.
Oh.
Head pin came back through between the 4 and 7. Tripped the 4 over. Ball's coming high. Look at that. Head pin back. Actually, it was the 2-pin. Off the wall. Right through between the 4 and 7.
Ooh.
The front part of the 2-pin tripped that 4-pin right there. Knocked it over.
And it looked like such a light touch, too. It didn't look like it was enough.
That was a big shot to stay in the match.
Absolutely. Now we're back to 11-pin. That one's wide right.
Yeah, after coming high, gave it room. She knew it.
Could have made a better shot.
Could have made a better shot. She's mic'd. That's what she's saying. Real quickly, we're talking about that Christmas tree pattern. She changes balls to shoot or spare. It's actually a tapered pattern. If you're talking from foul line to pins, it starts wider and goes narrower to the pin. She had trouble playing on that pattern. You can play a lot of different angles on that, and she couldn't find the right combination, that being Michelle Mullen. I think one of the things I've noticed is she's moved farther up on the approach. She's in a better leverage position at the line. I think that's helped her quite a bit.
246 is the maximum score for Carol Giannotti Block if she punches out, and she's on her way to doing that right now. Meanwhile, Michelle Mullen's maximum is 214. So Carol Giannotti Block is definitely in the driver's seat.
Well, Carol took a different approach tonight. She said, I'm not going to put so much pressure on myself. I'm going to have fun and enjoy what I'm doing. This is what I want to do, and I'm going to enjoy it.
Oh.
Seems to be paying off. She bowled a really bad game last time on TV and was pretty unhappy with that.
It's only 2 open frames. Everything else has been strikes. Not even a spare in the lot. There's nothing Michelle Mullen can do but sit and wait.
Well, it's over.
Wait for them to hand her that $2,600 check. And she does not punch out. Well, let's see if she can convert her first spare of the match.
Yeah.
She hasn't done that yet.
Well, this is a good place to do it. It doesn't matter.
Last time she left the 10-pin up, it jumped off.
It did, but Carol won't do that again. She'll learn from that.
We'll see. My money's she's going to pick it off. She did. And she climbs the ladder. She is number 4, and she is moved up.
Well, Michelle Mullen's happy to be on this telecast. She'll be back out next week at Rockford Bowling.
So our next match will feature Carol Giannotti Block against our number 3 qualifier, Wendy McPherson, at the Greater Terre Haute Open. Welcome back to the Terre Haute Bowling Center, where Carol Giannotti Block has defeated Michelle Mullen and now will face Wendy McPherson for our second match. Carol Giannotti Block will bowl first. She will be on lane 19, as was Wendy McPherson's choice. You just saw the score, 235 to 191, and that's not how she started the last match. She had a 4-bagger to open things up against Mullen, and here she's got the split.
She does. She was even on both lanes, 4 strikes on each one. 1 split on lane 19, now splitting again. So having a little bit of trouble on that lane.
Well, that certainly sets the table for Wendy McPherson. Obviously, out of Henderson, Nevada, one of our bowlers who's over the age of 30. Her husband is Nick Kapanos. And that's always a good feeling to start things off.
It's a light mixer. She drops her ball very quickly as opposed to Carol Giannotti, who raises it up and off. She drifts to the left here, about 7 boards. Real compact game. Nice, even arm swing. Gets a little bit of skid through the heads, has that funny ball roll. That one really never even got into a roll, but a light mixer.
There you see her average for the week. 210. Oh, that one came back high. Knew that was trouble.
Yeah, came light on 20, now high on 19. We may be starting to see a pattern. Carol Giannotti Block splitting on 19. The left lane maybe hooking more. Some of the pairs, to me this week, they went both ways. The right lane was tighter on several pairs, but the left lane on a few was tighter. So as we move across the house, it's very difficult. Scores were low this week, and that's why.
You know, one thing we didn't mention is that she also had a 300 game in 1998. It was back in Huntsville, Alabama during the winter swing. But you can never count Wendy McPherson out. Okay, Carol Giannotti Block last year earned $142,000 plus. This year, $67,000 so far. Her high game was 279, but the low game was 133. That 10 isn't going anywhere. It's going to shake though. Low game was 133, and that should be encouraging to the folks at home that, hey, sometimes even the pros find a lane or a condition that they just can't dial in.
And that ties into just what I was saying. Moving across the house was so tough. The pairs were so different. And you have to understand, when we're out here on tour, when we move from pair to pair, we don't get a warm-up shot on that pair.
Oh.
We don't get to line up like you would in your league and continue on that pair. So it's tough. And when the pairs play differently, you can shoot a bad game real easily. You mentioned that 142,000. She did that with 11 shows last year. She's in her 8th show this year, so she's on pace to maybe surpass that. Our record is 12 at this point in time.
There, she's got number 19 under control. Open on that frame with an 8. And now Wendy McPherson is up. Now she bowled over the break between the spring and summer. There you see in match play she defeated Carol Giannotti Block twice. Look at that low. Look at that was when the low score hit against her. She worked with the Professional Bowling Instruction Clinic with Michelle Mullen that we talked about earlier. We also spoke with her earlier about being 80 under after 3 games and how she turned it around.
I had a look around, and no one was really doing much anything the first few games, so I kind of grinded it out and ended up 36 under the first round. My surfaces were awful. I was not properly prepared. And it was a big learning experience for me because I came in the next morning and shot 130 over, and I knew exactly what I was going to do with surfaces and balls, and so it actually worked out really well.
Well, she stepped off there a moment, was a little distracted. What she was trying to do, what she meant by that, we had a lot of hook early on in practice. The back end of the lane was hooking. She came out with all very shiny bowling balls, and that always isn't the answer because it'll slide even longer and react even harder on the back end when the back ends are clean. She came back out the next round and the next day with a little more surface, or the ball's a little more porous, used maybe an 800 pad or a 1,000 pad to scuff up the surface of that ball. And so she was able to get the ball to break in the front part of the lane in the oil a little bit sooner, and it tamed down the back ends a little bit.
And she converts with her spare ball, so it's strike, spare, the pattern for Wendy McPherson. Carol Giannotti Block has an open, a spare, and a strike, a little bit of everything here in this second match. Coming out of the number 4 position, the worst she can do is 4th place. Now, there's something a little off balance about her release. When she puts her foot back down, a lot of bowlers, I find, kind of hold that cross-leg position longer. And watch how she almost falls. There's the cross, and then I always feel like she's going to stumble. It's kind of her style, I guess. But
well, she doesn't always do that. She fell off of that a little bit more than normal. She stays with the shot sometimes. But like I said, Carol's all-field, real athletic bowler. She's a strong lady, and she's not so much into style. She's more into get the ball out there and get it done, and whatever feels right to her at the time she goes with. I think she makes a lot of foul line adjustments, and so if she's off a little bit, she'll do something to try and correct that, and they maybe results in her falling off her shot. She stayed with that shot a lot better.
And the number 10 stayed with her, too. You know, a study in contrast here would be the attitude about what you do and how you prepare. She's been on TV 8 times in 1998. She does a lot of recreational things. She believes in relaxing, getting away from the sport. Over the break, she went back home to Australia, just kicked back and did very little bowling. Kim Adler, on the other hand, the top qualifier, has been on TV 7 times. She is a rigorous trainer. She likes to mountain bike and do all sorts of calisthenics and exercises and training, does a lot of bowling during the off-season, and that's her focus. So it's a real study, but both are successful. And we have 15 TV appearances between them. All right, let's look at Wendy McPherson here as she steps up, working off a spare in the 4th that was preceded by a strike in the 3rd. So the pattern continues. Strike, spare, and now the strike in the 5th.
And light again on lane 20, but getting that good mix. She needs to line up lane 19. Don't forget she chose to have Carol start. So now Wendy McPherson Papanos will end on lane 19. So she's going to have to get this one lined up.
260 with a punch out. And that won't happen here.
That was a good shot. Just to talk a little bit more on the surface issue that I mentioned with Wendy and her bowling balls, just so those of you at home understand, it's not always, if you don't have enough hook, to make the ball duller isn't always the answer. And if you have too much hook, shinier isn't always the answer. It depends on where that hook is, at what part of the lane the hook is, as to what you want to do with the surface.
So for the 3rd time in this match, she pulls out the yellow ball and converts the spare. A 13-pin lead as she goes into the 7th frame. And we're going to show you Deming Park. It's located on the east side of Terre Haute and is a favorite visiting place for local residents. And you can see why. We'll be back. Maximum score for Carol Giannotti Block is 237. She's working on back-to-back spares in the 4th and 5th. This is her on lane 20 in the 6th in match number 2 here at the Greater Terre Haute Open.
That was a great shot. Doesn't get any better than that. No chance for anything to stand on that shot.
An important shot, too, because it's just 13 pins that separate our 2 bowlers.
Carol's parents are coming out next week, next Tuesday. Bruno and Jan, along with her sister, they'll be out for the whole break with Carol. For about 8 weeks, 6 or 8 weeks, she'll be out with her.
And during the 3-week break, she said they're going to be tourists going up to Niagara Falls and all over the place, showing her parents from Australia some of the sights here in the United States. So it's 2 in a row for Giannotti Block. McPherson working off a spare in the 6th. As that strike spare pattern continues, she should be striking here in the 7th. Now her maximum score is down to 240.
Okay, we'll see if she does strike here on lane 20. It's been light, though. Let's see if she makes a move. Send it right, more.
Uh-oh.
Exactly. It looks like that lane is what I'd call wet dry. A little conditioner left and some hook to the right. She gave it room, sent it right. It hit the dry and it hooked. She's going to send this one right farther earlier on the lane than she did before, getting out to about the 10th board, and it takes a jump left.
165.4 was her single season earnings, and that was a record. She did that in 97. Well off the pace of that. Oh, she got that one. Oh, what a lovely shot. Good job, Wendy. Strikes are great, but I'll tell you, some spares can be so dramatic. That was a good one.
That was a good shot. That's pretty much a routine spare for the pros. They'll pick it up, I'd say 80–85% of the time. If you have a good shot to your 10 pin, you can probably pick up that spare.
Now we have a 1-pin game. She's on 19. And now she's reversed the pattern of spare strike with 2 spares, and now the strike on 19, which is going to be important if she finishes on 19, that she has it figured out. Carol Giannotti Block up in the 8th, working on a 2-bagger.
Her husband's not coming with her, but she wants to say hi to Neil. Can't forget Neil.
She chews us out when we say, hey, I said hello to Neil Block, and you guys didn't say so on the air, so we're saying it now.
Coming up light on 20. Again, the same issue. She said, okay. She put it in her hands. She'll take the 2-8. Not the easiest spare, but makeable. She was glad the 10 kicked out.
Came back nicely. Converts in the 8th. Trails by 3. 12 titles for Carol Giannotti Block, but none of them in 1998.
And one of her goals this year is to win a title. She really wants to get back in that. She'd like to someday be Bowler of the Year, but mostly be consistent. It's been so tough on her with all those second-place finishes.
Talk about consistent. Did you see the cashes and finishes? Geez,
right.
She is up there all the time, but you're right. She's got to get that monkey off her back of no titles. 14 out of 15 in the cashes, but no titles.
Going to shoot yet another 10-pin. There were games when players left 6 to 8 10-pins in one game.
Four solo 10-pins left up. 5th time she had left it up in the entire match, as Wendy McPherson saw her max score go from 260 to 240. Now it's down to 228 as this match stays ever so close.
A 4-pin match. Wendy's on a strike, so she can take it to 14 right here.
Not like that.
And again high. She seems to have no in-between on that lane. She either has hook or skid. She's going to go on the nose, 2-pin off the wall, kicking out the 7-pin, which is fortunate. She can pick this spare just the same way she picked the 310, the split we saw earlier. Ball sliding, sliding. Now watch it break.
Yeah.
She wants the ball the same place. She just put it for the 310.
And she does. Very, very close contest. Just 4 pins separating these two bowlers. So we move into the 10th.
Wendy can shut her out here. 2 strikes and 7 pins.
It's not the 7 I'm worried about. It's the 2 strikes. Come back.
Oh,
Ducks in a row.
wow. This is what we'd call an outer range. You've heard of double wood. This is triple wood. Here's the 5-pin slid over and stood up directly between the 2 and the 8-pin.
Look at that.
Now, since the rack didn't knock them over, these pins will stand as is. They'll clear the dead wood out of the channel there, and she'll have to shoot it just like this. If the rack had knocked it over, the pins would have been respotted in their original position.
That's why you still need spotters, even though it's all technology. You still need somebody down there to grab that deadwood. Wow.
She's going to shoot this with her spare ball. Interesting choice, because it could deflect very easily.
Oh! And that's the problem with that shot.
That's what I was afraid of with the spare ball. It's not going to drive through hard enough. You'll take out 2 pins, but 3 are tough to get. You really need the ball driving through, or you'd have to hit it dead on. Now Carol Giannotti block. It's going to need a mark. Oh, there's one.
Let's take another look at that.
Watch it. The ball's coming in the picture. See how it deflected? It deflected off the first pin, off the second pin, and there was nothing left to take out the back pin.
And the pin action sent them to the left, and the third pin was just left standing untouched.
The strike ball might have continued to drive hard enough to get that back one out.
Reigning 10 pin. 5th time it's been standing alone. So Wendy McPherson, second TV appearance of '98, finishes 4th as Carol Giannotti Block continues to climb the ladder.
I know Wendy wants to say hi to her niece, Kendall Lee Smith. Sorry I couldn't win for you.
Carol Giannotti Block will face Marianne DeRupo, but coming up, it's time to Ask the Pro. And we've got a question about babies. Don't go away. They both stand 5'7". They're both about the same age, but they're from different hemispheres. Susquehanna, New Jersey versus Morley, Perth, Australia. And the Aussie's going to bowl first. Carol Giannotti Block in her 3rd match. In the 2nd match, she defeated Wendy McPherson 194 to 184. Let's see what she can do here against Marianne DeRupo.
Coming up a little high. She sent that one pretty wide, pretty far to the right. Left just a 4-pin. She had 6 strikes on each lane. Had 2 splits, though, on lane 19, and it almost happened again right there. Ball driving hard.
Opens with a spare. Marianne DeRupo has climbed the ladder 5 times. 6 years as a pro. You said in the beginning, 5 titles in those 6 years. So she's been very effective. She's an exceptional athlete. In high school, she was all-state in 3 sports: softball, basketball, and field hockey. Done it all.
Coming up high on her opening shot, 4-7. And it really does appear, although Carol Giannotti Blocks had her 2 splits on 19, it looks like lane 20 is extremely touchy, very wet, dry. You have to kind of thread a fine line there.
You can see she's already won once this year, that being in Omaha, Nebraska.
Marianne gets on rolls in certain centers, certain places, and continues to make the show there, Omaha being 1, and she finally won there. Here she made the show last year.
Was 3rd.
Yeah, ended up in 3rd place.
Her average for the week is just over 212. In fact, 3rd is the worst she can do this year. Did very well throughout all of the rounds. Was always in the top 5 all week long.
And now light on 19, and we're seeing this with every player. If they're light on one lane, they're high in the other, or vice versa, either direction. So it does appear the lanes are different. And again, as I said, it was that way most of the week on most of the pairs.
Marianne DeRupo is a member of the AMS Pro staff. 2 spares sums her up as we open our 3rd match. Now in match play, these 2 have already met. Carol Giannotti Block prevailed.
And there's that 10-pin.
Seen a lot of him tonight.
Yeah, a lot.
Notice it's a he.
Yeah, a little bit. Pesty.
I'm not going to go there. Took care of that pest.
Yeah. Knock him over with one blow.
So things are even here in Terre Haute in our third match. Carol Giannotti Block opened with a win against Michelle Mullen. Then she defeated Wendy McPherson. Her average this year is 217. She got it. She said get it, and it did.
She threw that ball real nice, real crisp and clean.
Prior to her win in Omaha, Nebraska, her last win was at the Hammers Player Championship in Rockford, Illinois. The TV pair tonight, lanes 19 and 20. Her average on this pair, 196.
And light on lane 20. She was high the first shot, leaving the 4-7 on 20. Made a move and now light, so that is what we're seeing. It's not that easy. These players are hitting between a 1 and 2 board area, and one board difference is making the difference of hitting high on the head pin or barely touching the head pin.
Her low game this week was 169. Her high game was 266. Quite a range. And she converts for the third time in 3 frames.
You know, Mary Ann's kept score for us up here a couple weeks ago, and she made 2 shows since then. She said she hated keeping score so much. She was so nervous that she felt she'd be more comfortable bowling. So she went and made 2 shows. So Lisa
Wagner's keeping our score tonight.
Yeah.
God bless her.
Are you nervous? You need to be nervous keeping score so you make the next. Okay.
She's already made the pledge. She's going to make the show next week when we go to Rockford. Marian DeRupo is 14 and 10 in match play. She moves over to 19. That one looked good. And she says yes. So after 3 spares, she finds her mark in the 4th. And there's our Lisa Wagner, who's made the pledge. I'll be on TV next week, but not here in the booth, she says. I'll be out there bowling. We're going to hold you to that.
She's committed now.
30-time titleist Lisa Wagner, so when she speaks, I believe her. Giannotti Block strikes in number 4. That's 2 in a row for her after 2 opening spares.
Well, she lost when she was higher up, top seed, so maybe she figures she's going to come up the ladder to win that title this year.
It's turkey time. Her last TV appearance was Allentown, Pennsylvania. She came in 2nd, losing to Leanne Barrett. It was back in July 26th. Marian DeRupo finished 4th last week in Louisville, Kentucky. Her career earnings, $366,000. So far this year, $54,900.
Look at the eyes. Very intense on the target.
Come on, number 10. No.
Hit a little half pocket there. 10-pin didn't fall. She made an adjustment, though. At least she got to the pocket now. Now she'll have to try to work on carrying. She's going to change balls to shoot her spare. Takes her wristband off also to shoot her spare so she can flatten it out. It's a good tip. If you can't break your wristband back like some of them you can dial and adjust them. If you can't, you may want to take it off the shooting method. Mary Ann rocks on her first step, but kind of has a 4-step approach after that rock. It's a short approach, and watch her power step. In her 3rd step right here, look at the big push she gets. Watch how hard she pushes into that slide. She keeps that foot on the floor, halfway into her slide there, really gets a hard push, a lot of leverage with her legs. Powerful, athletic lady.
Needs some of that power to close this 21-pin gap here in the 6th frame. Came back up high.
Whew. 4-9. We saw a lot of these this week. Either the 4-9 because the ball drove so hard at the back end, or the 7-10 because it came in late behind the head pin. Out of pocket splits. She'll probably give this a run in the position that she's in. She's going to need to go for it because she's down already in the match.
An open frame in the sixth. 105 for Marianne DeRupo. Technically, her game's not perfect, which is a shame because the Rose-Hulman Institute, founded in 1874, is one of the top technical educational facilities in the United States. We'll be back. A 34-pin lead for Carol Giannotti Block. After 3 strikes, she steps up in the sixth, and again, I see that loss of balance after the delivery.
Yeah, again, falling off the shot, leaving that weak 10. Some of the players do it.
Heard her saying weak.
Mm-hmm.
Second time now in this match that she has left the 10.
She stayed with that shot. It's just, sometimes you get a little bit different footing. As you move, you may walk a little bit one way or the other, and your footing's a little different.
For you PWBA fans who've been looking at our 4 schedule, we have filled the little void that was TBA. The Columbia 300 Delaware Open will be held at the Bolorama in Newcastle, Delaware, September 26th through the 30th. There are the numbers to call for the Pro-Am. Boy, did that thing come back. Did that come back?
And the reason we're going back to Delaware, there's a lot of help. A lot of people work together to make it possible. Columbia 300, First USA, the PWBA, and STE, which is Strike 10 Entertainment. They all decided that this was going to be the 10th annual event there, and they really wanted us to come back. The community loves it.
215 is her average for the year. This is Marianne DeRupo.
She's just not real comfortable. It doesn't appear she has the greatest ball reaction out there. She said she was going to drill some stuff.
Second time she's left the 2.
She went through a lot of bowling balls. I'm trying to get a glance.
20 plus this week.
Trying to get a glance if she's going to try to change balls here.
A lot of spares in this match, 5 of them to be exact, versus 1 strike for Marianne DeRupo. .215 is a best-case scenario for DeRupo, but judging by the way things have been going, I don't think she's going to reach that. Carol Giannotti Block, on the other hand, is a turkey, a spare, and then a strike. She could punch out. I spoke too soon.
Yeah, there's a better result. A little bit better reaction. Marianne trying to stay with something that keeps her real direct into the pocket, not wanting to cross a lot of boards. But so far, it hasn't worked for her. Well, Giannotti Block, on the other hand, crossing a lot of boards. That one, she didn't get the ball far enough right. Never really right of the pocket. It just took off.
Rehashing the pins she has left in this match, she opened leaving the 4. In the second frame, she left the 10. In the sixth frame, she left the 10. And now it's the 3-6 pin. But they go down in order. And she still holds a 33-pin advantage.
And again, she flattened that ball out to shoot her spare. Carol doesn't change balls that often to shoot a spare. She just flattens out the ball she's throwing. In other words, she doesn't rotate her hand.
And she does it nicely in the 9th frame. As Marianne DeRupo is working on a strike in the 8th and a spare in the 7th. And her only strike before that came back in the 4th as she presses for a re-rack. But it's been basically a solid week for her, never having been out of the top 5.
She can strike out right here in the 9th and 10th for 215. If she does that, she will force Carol Giannotti Block to mark. She has to strike here. And again, the 10-pin, that was a great shot. She gave it room. She had nice roll, had good ball reaction, but the 10 didn't fall.
The second time in this match that she's left the 10.
Yeah, the ball's driving. It was driving hard. The 6-pin wrapped right around that 10.
Touched it, but not enough. Gets the conversion all week long. She said she's been working very hard to get this house dialed in. How many bowling balls did she use? Well, she told us.
This week I went through a good 20 to 25 different bowling balls. The reason being is I was trying to match a cover stock or a type of bowling ball to the condition. The condition changed drastically as the games went on, and once I found out what type of cover stock, then I had to match the drilling patterns of where the pin placement is and the CG placement is accordingly to the best reaction for me this week.
Okay, Jan Schmidt, translate.
Well, she's on AMF staff. They have a big line of bowling balls. She was trying to first match what shell or what outer surface of the ball was the best to give her the best reaction on the lane, or mostly in the front and middle part of the lane. Then when she found that, she matched drilling patterns, in other words, where the weight block was placed inside the ball in relation to her grip to try and get the best flip or reaction into the pocket. So there's a lot of technical things, and that's just a short synopsis, but you may want to go to your pro shop operator and talk to him. Bowling is very detailed nowadays. The equipment is tough to learn. There's a lot of drilling patterns you can use, and a lot of things you can do with surface. So you really need to learn that to be competitive.
Well, now she has it figured out, but is it too late? It certainly puts the pressure on Carol Giannotti Block, but
yeah, it's really too late.
The 33-pin lead, it's kind of a moot point. She'd have to, Giannotti Block would really have to fall apart here. 195 is the maximum score. It'll be 193 for Marianne DeRupo.
So if Carol gets 3 pins on her first shot, it's all over. That would give her 194 without bowling again.
Gee, do you think she'll make it? Answer that question with one shot.
Well, she's climbing her way.
She sure is. Working her way through everybody on the ladder. $3,800 for Marianne DeRupo as she finishes third after qualifying second. Carol Giannotti Block climbs the ladder. Oh, what a hello this has been to Nina Block.
So Marianne third for the second year in a row here. Maybe the third year will be the charm if we come back. I hope we are coming back. We love it here. Rick Braden and the staff do a great job.
All right, we're going to step aside, but when we come back, we're not going to play any nonsense. It's a no-nonsense shot of the day. This is what it's all about. That Clabber Girl Greater Terre Haute Open. That is the hardware, plus the check, plus the prestige, the points, etc., etc. A lot at stake as we look at our championship match, Kim Adler and Carol Giannotti Block. And she is going to start things off once again. She defeated Marianne DeRupo 226 to 193 to finish or climb to the top rung of the ladder. Will she finish as number one? Find out.
Well, she said she was going to have fun and relax. I think, thinking like, well, I'm in fifth. What difference does it make? How far am I going to get? Or fourth? You know, I have to go through the whole ladder. But now that she's there, as you can see, lane 19 now, or better lane, 10 strikes on that lane, coming up high here. I'm wondering now that she's in the championship match, if she's going to start thinking about those 5 second places.
Oh, yes. 8 times on TV, no titles to show for it. Kim Adler, on the other hand, is enjoying her 7th appearance on TV, but has a title to show for it. And she's the smallest of our bowlers, 5 feet 5 inches tall. As I said, they're all 30 and over. You know, I called her a fitness freak, but I say that affectionately because this woman is into mountain biking, exercise, lifts the weights, really trains hard as a very serious athlete. And her physique shows that. She was really into the athletic side of bowling. Now in match play, these two bowlers have met, 245 to 225, 2 great scores, 2 great bowlers.
Well, career-wise, in TV, Kim Adler's average versus Carol Giannotti Block is 201.2. Carol Giannotti Block's average versus Kim Adler is 227.
Interesting.
However,
identical opening. 6-10 is left. 6-10 is taken care of on the spare ball.
However, Kim Adler has come out ahead 3-2 on TV versus Carol Giannotti Block.
Average for the year, 216 plus. 9 titles for Kim Adler. 12 titles for the career for Carol Giannotti Block.
Carol looking down. Glimpse of that. She wasn't looking straight ahead at the lanes.
Focusing on her own game.
Light hit there.
But gets the job done.
It's reminiscent of last week, the first match we saw her bowl. She had a lot of light hits, carried a lot. But then the second match, she had some problems, ending up in second last week.
5 championship appearances, 5 second-place finishes. Think that doesn't put pressure on you? Hey, one reason why she said she's doing very well this week in Terre Haute and this evening is that her ball rep is here. She said that makes a big difference for her.
He's helped her a lot. Carol's on track staff. This ball driving hard into the pocket. Just, the 6-pin just slept out the 10.
What does a ball rep do for you when he's out
Oh,
with you?
boy, they do a lot of things now, and that thing has changed also. They lay out bowling balls, in other words, determine how you should drill them, what will work best for you out on the lanes. They also help you with what type of surface to use. They'll help you line up on the lanes. They'll work with you on your physical game, mental game. They kind of basically are a coach.
Again, she knocks down the 6-10. Kim Adler pursuing her 10th career title. And on a sad note, this is the 10th anniversary of the passing of her father. And her dad, Gary Carmen, was the man who introduced her to the sport, took her to junior league bowling, was her first coach, coached her until she could out-average him. She said that happened around 5th grade. Tears came to her eyes when she started talking about her dad, and she looks at her career now and says, hey, you know, if it wasn't for him, she wouldn't even be in the sport.
Right. She wants to win for him tonight. Also, on a sad note, I'm going to take a moment. Our president, John Falzone, and his family, we want to let them know that we're all praying for them with the illness of their daughter.
Prayers and thoughts are with you, John Falzone. Kim Adler is able, though, to talk to her grandmother on her father's side, Barbara Carmen, who watches her bowl now. So she's kind of filling in where Dad left off. Spare strike spare for Kim Adler. This match is even here at the Terre Haute Bowling Center. This is the 3rd consecutive appearance for Kim Adler, who holds the record for 6 consecutive TV appearances in one season. And we'll have the answer right after this.
Kim was hesitant on shooting that 5-pin. I don't know if anyone noticed. She moved her feet several times, like, where am I going to line up for this spare? And she almost missed it.
That come back high, and once again we see 6-10. I'm going to give you a clue about our little-known fact. As you look at Tommy Adler, that's Kim Adler's husband, more than one person has been on TV 6 consecutive times. After she converts to spare. In fact, more than 2 people have been on TV. In fact, more than 3 people have been on TV. 4 people have been on TV 6 consecutive times.
And another clue, I wasn't one of them.
Okay, here's the answer to that little-known fact. The first person to do it was our scorekeeper, Lisa Wagner, in 85. Then Nikki Giannoulias did it in 86. In 92, Carol Giannotti Block. And in 97, the woman who's doing the stats in the truck, Carolyn Doran-Ballard. 4 bowlers have made 6 consecutive television appearances.
Carol striking on lane 20 now.
She moves over to 19. Ooh. What went wrong?
Well, 19 had become the better lane for her. She's now striking on 20 again, missing on 19, coming up light. She's shaking her head. I think she's not happy with that shot. just didn't turn
Okay.
over.
Yeah.
Hit a strip of conditioner. Actually, it looked like she threw it pretty good. Uh-oh.
Yeah, look at her rolling her eyes. She knew she was uh-ohing too.
She's saying thank you very much.
Spare strike, spare strike, spare. Sums up Carol Giannotti Block as Kim Adler working off of 2 spares in the 3rd and the 4th. She has 1 strike in the match. That came in the 2nd. Wall to wall, this woman was the leader. That's the first time in her career she's been number 1 after 6 games, 12, 18, 26, 34, 41. Will she be number 1 after tonight? She's not exactly in control in this match.
Neither player in control right now. Kim leaving a 10 pin. She's going to change balls to shoot the spare. We talked about last week how she had a couple errant shots, and I was wondering if she was slipping or sticking. Actually, what it was she hit her ankle twice during that match, which is something she hasn't done in years. I was really not sure why it happened.
You know, the funny thing is, you'd think if you hit your ankle, you'd wince and grimace with pain, you'd collapse and cry. But she said when she was starting to bowling, she hit her ankle so many times that she actually made her ankle dead and didn't feel it.
Kim has a 5-step approach. She drops the ball as she starts to move it very early there. Quick feet, a very low backswing we looked at last week. Watch the leg drive. Watch this follow through. What a great finish position she has. Never falls off a shot. Always strong. Look at that follow through all the way around. She hits herself in the back with every shot.
And for a little bowler, it's a heavy ball, 16 pounds.
That's right. She's usually throwing 16 pounds. She has gone back and forth between 15 and 16. But when there's more conditioner, she opts for 16 because she feels she gets better hit. Now, she's not using her spare ball. She may go for this. You want to make sure you get the 2 pins. It's a close match, but yet she probably feels she needs the spare at this point. She wants to hit the left side of the 4-pin with the ball. The ball will take out the 7. The 4 will slide over into the 9.
In theory. And she executes. Oh, she hit it right. It just didn't slide right. An open frame in the 6th for Kim Adler. So Carol Giannotti has a lead. It is 17 pins for Giannotti Block as she works on a spare. She's singing something, but it isn't I Quite Have a Win Tonight. The Indiana State song, meanwhile, is On the Banks of the Wabash Far Away. It's been the song since 1913. It was composed and performed by Paul Dresser of Terre Haute. Welcome back. You are looking at Carol Giannotti Block. She is up in the 6th frame, enjoying a 17-pin lead. And a strike off a spare in the 5th.
Again on lane 20. She has a Dutch 200 going. Striking on lane 20 every time with shots just like this. She's deep inside the ball, out to about 15 and back. Slapping out the 10.
Last one to go.
Both players during a break walked over and talked with their respective ball reps. We were talking about ball reps and what they do. They had a discussion over what was going on the lanes and what adjustments they thought they might want to try. So ball representatives taking a bigger and bigger role out here on tour. This week also we had caddies. What a tremendous help they were. They were great. I can't
Being a
even
person
tell
with
you.
a sore back,
Yeah.
you really appreciate those caddies who carry the balls from one end of the house to the other. Sure.
I probably wouldn't have been on that top 24 list without my caddy. Brian, thank you. They were all tremendous.
In the summer, it's a little easier to get the caddies because the kids are out of school. 15 events, 14 cashes. Top 5, 7 times. And 1 title. That comes up light.
Wow. Missing the head pin completely. The only thing I heard said was be aggressive. I couldn't really hear what their conversations were during break. She was aggressive with this shot. Sent it right, though, all the way to about the 6th board. There's conditioner out there. It's out of bounds. It won't come back from there.
You know, she went over to Vincennes University and worked with Gary Sparks, the head coach, and Jeff Newkirk, who is the manager of the Vincennes Bowling Center. She practiced. The owner put down 4 different patterns. The conditions got her ready here for Terre Haute. and she led round to round to round.
Now she made a change there. She was going to use her strike ball. She put it back down, opted to shoot it with the spare ball and go left and shoot straight at it.
You can read her lips saying, come on. Let's take a look at the score here in our championship match. Carol Giannotti Block has a 29-pin edge. Spare, strike, spare, strike, spare, strike, spare. A real pattern developing there. Kim Adler is struggling with a split in the 6th, a split in the 7th, unable to convert either one as she steps up now in the 8th.
One of those splits was a good shot, though. The 4-7-9. A little bit unlucky to leave it.
Dials in on number 8. That is just her 2nd strike of the match, and she still trails, though, by 29 as Carol Giannotti Block steps up on lane number 20. Giannotti Block pleased with her performance so far this year, but sure would love to get a win out of her belt. She finished 2nd in Lubbock, 2nd in Huntsville, 2nd in Atlanta, 2nd in Omaha, 2nd in Allentown. She's sick of that song.
She's looking actually over to the right. She's looking as if something distracted her there out on the approach. A lot of movement going on right now. 10-pin fell out here at the last minute, leaving just the 3-6. However, they are spread. She could end up chopping them. Backs it up wisely to cover them both.
There you see 2 spares in a row. And once again, she's unhappy with someone or something over on the right-hand side of the lane. Seems to be straightened out now. She moves up in the 9th. She's on lane 19. Comes back high.
Solid 9-pin. Great shot. These are the resin bowling balls. Result of resin bowling balls. Look at it drive through. No deflection. Drives past the 9-pin.
I was nervous. She's pulling her hair out. 207 if she punches out for Carol Giannotti Block versus 201 for Kim Adler.
I believe Kim Adler made a ball change on that last shot. She has a few balls on the rack, so it's a little hard for me to see at this point. She did use a different ball. This is a different ball on this lane.
Working on a strike in the 8th. This is the 9th. 2 in a row.
She went to 2 different balls. 1 ball on the left lane, 1 ball on the right lane. What a change.
16's the difference, but when you look at maximum scores, it's only 6. Right now, Kim Adler has put down 2 in a row. There you see the maximum score for Giannotti Block. She punches out in the 10th.
There, it's a different ball. This one more aggressive, hooks more than the ball she just used on lane 20. She's in deeper on this lane, playing the middle of the lane more.
On her way.
Wow.
You can see her jaws clenched.
She didn't even know it was the 10th frame.
Yeah, she sat down and now she's jumping up again because she has to finish out.
What a move that was. I believe
Wow.
she went away from the ball she was using on both lanes and went to one on 19 and a different one on 20.
One more. That's Bob Hippelhauser. He's the president of Clabber Girl Baking Powder Company. They are the sponsors here of the Greater Terre Haute Open. Big thank you to him and his company for all they've done here in Terre Haute.
Definitely. They've been a tremendous sponsor for 3 years now. They had a big luncheon for the ladies today. We all went out. Thanks, Bob, for that, and all of Clabber Girl.
Poor bagger for Kim Adler. She just ran out of frames. Really coming on strong here at the end.
Little noise in the background.
And the house got loud. I hope that doesn't break her confidence. Yeah. Well, that's all right. 9 pins out of 10. Instead of a 201, she finishes with a 200. Now remember, best case scenario for Carol Giannotti Block is 207.
Carol has to double here. She needs 2 strikes and 4 pins to win this. Must strike.
Must strike here. There's one. Boy, this one's going right down to the wire.
Oh, boy.
Oh, the pressure. This woman, 5 times she has come in 2nd place. She must get a strike here.
Taking no time.
Back up to come back. Oh, no.
She took no time at all through that shot, but that's Carol. That's her personality. That's how she bowls. She didn't catch that ball. Not a good rotation.
And that was it. 197 was the best she could have done. She converted the spare, and Kim Adler, with tears in her eyes for her dad, hugs her husband. 10th career title and the 10th anniversary of her father's passing. An emotional moment for one Kim Adler. The Clabber Girl Greater Terre Haute Open is being brought to you by AMF Bowling Worldwide, the largest owner and operator of bowling centers in the world and one of the leading makers of bowling products. AMF always means fun. By Budweiser and Bud Light, the official beers of bowling. And by MasterCard. There are some things in life money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Our champion, Kim Adler, is flanked by Rick Braden, the Vice President and General Manager here at the Terre Haute Bowling Center, and Bob Hippelhauser, the President of Clabber Girl Baking Powder, and they have our presentation.
Kim, we'd like to present you with this beautiful piece of crystal. Congratulations.
I'd like to thank Clabber Girl and Terre Haute Bowling Center, and this marks my 10th win, and it's the 10th anniversary of my father's passing. He was very instrumental in my bowling career, and this is dedicated to him. Thank you.
Congratulations, Kim, and here's your check. And good luck.
Thank you very much.
Bittersweet victory, but it's number 2 for 1998.
It is, and it's going to be exciting come Rockford next week. I bowl well there, and I'm looking forward to next week.
Well, good luck to you, and next week we will be in Rockford, Illinois for the Hammer Players Championship. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.